going on? Alice Will 6'4", looking all thick in the face and shit. I just noticed that. I look in the mirror every day when I brush my teeth or whatever, but the camera make me look thick in the face. You know what I'm saying? Make sexy co-eds want to take a bite out of it. But anyway, how y'all doing? I haven't been on here in a minute, and that's because I've been working on my Patreon. So, you know, me and a few people that are enrolled into my Patreon page, Holography. Oh, they're getting all the content that I would normally put here on YouTube, but it's being reserved for paying customers or paying clients. You know what I'm saying? And not just because I'm trying to make money off of people. It's more so because the topic of this live stream that I'm doing right now is, and it goes back to a video that I made earlier. Maybe it's like a couple months ago. I don't know if it's was it a couple months? The video about Obia Obai online. Like, should certain things be on the internet? And I'm going to continue that by just dealing with the conscious community as a whole. You know, me, holographer, right? We deal with the whole thing, not part, not just pieces or fractions or sections of it. We deal with the whole thing, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, subscribe, share if you need to. But again, if you really want some real content that I'm really putting up, it will not be on YouTube publicly. So you may want to consider, if you find my content worthwhile watching, you definitely want to subscribe or enroll into my Patreon page, Holography. The link should be in the description of this video already, or when I re-upload this, because every time my live goes off, I got to go into the YouTube Creator Studio and then, turn it into a public video, because it just goes straight to private after, what I'm saying, the live stream goes off. But anywho, how your mom and them doing? I was checking to see, what I'm saying, post-COVID time, some people still wear a mask. But there's an article that I came across, and it's in this book, Slavery and Liberation, or Slavery to Liberation, the African American Experience, and this is the first edition. And it has few editors to it. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a book about, you know, a few, like, these writers, these black writers in college. You have to preface that they're collegiates, and they're basically writing essays about, you know, what is it like to be black nowadays? Like, what is it? How did we come to what we are today as, so-called black people? Like, what type of civil rights experiences did we have? What type of stuff did we go through, from decade to decade to deal with, you know, what we're dealing with: slavery, liberation, black consciousness. And the title of this live stream is aptly named "The Subconscious Politics of the Conscious Community," because, as the title strongly suggests, there's an underlying current or underbelly, what I'm saying, or underground, what I'm saying, associated with the conscious community. And when it comes to, dealing with subconscious, it's a word that you get in, you know, mainstream psychology or even Jungian psychology, where they say the subconscious is the part of the mind that's subliminal. It's not focused on conscious things that you're, paying your attention to. It's things below the radar of that. So you have subconscious desires, subconscious fears, subconscious trauma, trauma and that type of stuff. But it's not in your foremind or your ego mind. It's in your, the darkness of your mind or whatever. Um, and that's a very important title because it's a lot of bullshit in the conscious community. We're in 2023. This bullshit has been here ever since maybe the 90s or 80s. To be perfectly honest, when I got into this whole conscious community thing, which includes the occult, for those of you that want to try to separate yourself, no, you're included. Um, what year was it? I got into this shit like around 2013. So going back to notice what I've seen about this whole community, It was on its decline when I came into it in 2013. It was already on a decline. You know what I'm saying? It was already going downhill. You know what I'm saying? The roller coaster with the King Ka, if you're familiar with Six Flags, that bitch was going all the way down at like 128 miles per hour when I got into it. Because when you get into a certain group, or you're, you know what I'm saying, you're getting into some sort of high level of thinking or conscious or spirituality, it's natural that you want to go out into the internet nowadays and relate to like-minded individuals, right? You want to connect with them, you want to share knowledge, share books, PDFs, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk about veganism and chemtrails, pyramids, crystals, and all those topics. You know what I'm saying? But this shit was on a decline when I got into it, and I didn't realize it was on a decline when I got into it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that. Now there is an essay in this book, "Slavery to Liberation." I'm gonna put the link in the description. You know, when this live is over and when I edit it. Well, let me get to where I'm trying to get to. There's a because this is like a compilation of essays. You know what I'm saying? So one of the essays that are in this book is called "Black Radicalism, Black Consciousness, Black History, and Black YouTube: A New Age Revolution" by Cheryl E. Mango at Virginia State University. So this is a collegiate woman writing an essay about the conscious community, basically, and more specifically, what it looks like on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We're on YouTube, right? You're watching me on YouTube. And then using certain phrases like new age. So her title suggests that there is a connection between the new age movement in general, whether you're black, white, Chinese, Hindu, whatever you are, and this whole black radicalism, black consciousness, black history movement, right? And she made sure it was YouTube. She even goes to say in this essay, she even names some of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't usually like calling out people names or saying names or anything like that. But her essay specifically names certain YouTube channels that I know you watching this are very familiar with. So, for example, Black News 102, Sonetter TV, Black Magic 363, Baba TV Every Time Fire, Zaza. I think she's talking about Zaza Ali. Know the Ledge Media, that's the red and blue pill, right? Young Pharaoh, pretty obvious. Serious Minds, Brother Ben X, Tariq Radio, Prince Afatunde, which is, you know, from what I understand, that's Dr. Umar Johnson's YouTube channel. Your Black World, and finally Urban X TV, which is Black Dot and his son doing that. So she names these popular YouTube channels in her essay. And she says in one part of this essay that the black conscious community is a conglomerate of sporadically allied African Americans who advocate replacing mainstream black philosophies and institutions with Afrocentric and black nationalist ideas in action. The YouTubers of focus were chosen due to their loose connections and because they are among the most influential and thought-provoking, interesting, in their justifications for a complete transformation of the psyche and physical reality of all people of African descent. Many of the black YouTube radicals, that's what she's calling y'all, that's out here on YouTube doing y'all black conscious shit. Many of the black YouTube radicals are often offended by the term and categorization of YouTube revolutionary or web ablution. I don't know what the hell web ablutionary. I don't know where she got that term. I never heard of that. I've heard of YouTube revolutionary or just social media revolutionary because they believe such titles diminish the importance of their online and in-person work. Yet this label is appropriate. So she's saying that calling y'all YouTube revolutionaries is appropriate. It's fitting for what y'all is. and reflects unique characteristics that make the online black militants important voices in the current political and social media landscape. So this is a college taught professor calling all y'all, black conscious, black occult, all y'all on YouTube. She's calling y'all YouTube revolutionaries, y'all black militants. This is a black woman saying this. The new virtual presence in black radical thinking and action amassed by these YouTube radicals are worthy of serious scholarly study. So she's studying y'all like a scholar. So this is like an anthropological, I guess, assessment of y'all on YouTube, because they represent a critical stage of development in black revolutionary history and consciousness. This is humorous. I struggled to hold back laughter. So you got a black woman in the college circuit looking at all of us on this YouTube. So it doesn't see. This is the thing with motherfuckers. When I'm talking about conscious community, some people like to associate themselves with it. But I consider, if you're talking about black consciousness, you're on the YouTube or social media in general talking about anything spiritual, anything esoteric, anything metaphysical, any ideology you're dealing with, or occult, which I call semio, SEMIO, spirituality, esoterica, metaphysics, ideology, and occult. So that's the whole conscious community. So if you're talking about anything that relates to, including aliens, black extraterrestrials, if you're talking about any of this stuff that is subculture, like it's not a part of um, uh, the mainstream paradigm of what information and knowledge and history is. We can include history into this, and it deals with some black people. Then I have to put you in that category. So she's calling y'all a YouTube revolutionaries because your revolutionaries are based on, according to the term, is based on y'all being on YouTube, which YouTube is not owned by anybody black. It's not run by anybody black. It's not black owned. It's something where we have co-opted to spread Afrocentric and black nationalist ideas and actions. So this is her making an essay about us, because I would have to include myself in that what I'm saying, along the likes of like Ben X or Brother Ben X, Tariq Radio, Prince Alpha Tunde, Urban X TV, Black Magic 363, Black News 102, Signetter TV, Note Alleged Media, and Young Pharaoh. Now, the point of this video or this live stream, is that if you take a look at all these people being named and all these YouTube channels being talked about, do you think they are representations, what I'm saying, or good representations of who we are as a collective to the outer world, or to, the college world, or to anybody outside of our black conscious community? Because there are some figures in this community that have done some very questionable things. Very questionable, very immoral, if you want to talk in terms of morals. Very shisty and shady shit going on with some of these people. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the YouTube channels that I just named, but definitely within the community itself. Um, and I'm trying to see, like, this woman, Cheryl E. Mango, who wrote this article or essay, what is she seeing about us? What is she seeing? What is she observing about us? What are we showing her? And not just her by herself, but the world at large. Because there's a lot of scammers in this space. There's a lot of finessers. There's a lot of phonies, fakes, and fugazis out here. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking at one of these fakes and fugazis as the picture or the epitome of black consciousness or the conscious community, then I think there's a problem with that. There's a problem on our end, and there's a problem on those who observe. Because what I will say is that when people like for example, like if you're in the United States, other countries have certain views about us. But the thing is, if they think that they are smarter or more advanced than us, but they believe in the propaganda that's being placed in front of us, then actually they are no better than us because they are being fooled by the same propaganda. But I'm looking at this whole YouTube or social media black consciousness stuff, and I'm really looking at the propaganda now. Because now I'm like, what if some of these people in this community space are here to spread the propaganda and they're doing it based on an agenda that they were told to do? In other words, are some of these people agents? And they're here to just be what you would call an agent provocateur. Like they're there to rally up people, say controversial things, like, get people to believe this over that. And they're basically here on a, government payroll or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, there have been figures in this conscious community that have been accused of being agents. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to say which one or which ones. They have been accused of being agents and, being agent provocateurs or just generally being on the scene of the conscious community to cause mayhem. You know what I'm saying? Like they're here in this shit to, cause problems, not solve solution or, come up with solutions, not solving the problem. And then you have an outer eyes that are looking at us, not just this woman who wrote the essay. They're all looking at us and they're getting a roundabout picture of who we are. So who are we in the conscious community? Well, like I said, it doesn't help that a lot of these dudes and women out here are being accused of um, mail fraud. Like you're being accused of frauding people out of their money. Like you're giving fake status corrections. You're um, doing fake retreats. Like like you're telling women that there's going to be a women's retreat in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? In Montego Bay, but when the date comes, like you're not contacting them, they can't contact you, but they already gave you the money. And we talking about 3,000, 4,000, 200,000. Not 200. I'm hoping none of y'all spent $200,000. You know what I'm saying, on none of these people in this community. But you know what I'm saying, like 2,500, 3,000, $4,000. And even in some cases, I've heard that someone gave one of these conscious community dudes like $70,000, and that was that guy's his savings. So he poured his savings into one of the services of one of these conscious community dudes, and he got gypped for his $70,000 and never got the services. Now you got people sitting here fighting on YouTube, like having these debates. You know what I'm saying? Sitting here debating if Jesus was black or white or Middle Eastern, or you're debating if Noble Drew Ali was, you know, the real thing. You know about the Aquarian gospel, right? How the Circle 7 Quran is supposedly, just he took the title off of Aquarian gospel and just put Circle 7 Quran on it. Allegedly. I'm not here to accuse anybody of anything. You got people getting caught with adult entertainers and strip clubs. I ain't gotta say who. You know what I'm saying? They getting caught trying to smash cookies, whatever you think that means. I'm not here to define that. We're not focused on that. What else? People are being accused of. Um, what else? Exorbitant fees for attending some sort of online show or some sort of like community event, like $50 to $60. Like you're overcharging people, like you're trying to make a buck out of debating or just trying to present things, which again, I don't say that that's unethical or immoral, but like I said, some of that stuff, I don't think it should cost me that much money to obtain. But like I said, if that's what you're worth, then people need to pay the $60 to $70 to hear you speak about something, right? So I want to go into even deeper understanding of how the world sees us in the conscious community, right? So I have a list of things here that you're familiar with. You like consumer culture. You like stuff on TV, on internet, and movies, right? So I just have a list of mainstream media depictions of the conscious community, and it goes back further than you would think. So, for example, the first dot I have, or first bullet I have on here is Boondocks. Like, for example, like Huey Freeman on the Boondocks. That's a depiction of black radicalism, right? Because this is a 10-year-old kid with an afro named after Huey P. Newton, who was one of the Black Panthers, one of the founding Black Panthers. And so when people see Freeman on that cartoon show, they are automatically going to associate him with us. Let me keep continuing. Um, the film I'm going to get you suckers. Some of y'all younger cats may not know about that film. I'm going to get you suckers. One of Keenan Ivory Wayans' film. I think, did he direct that film? He starred it. I'm not sure if he directed it. Y'all can correct me if you're watching this. But there's a character um, on in that movie played by Clarence Williams III. He was the Mr. Sims from Tales in the Hood. He's in the movie and he's depicted as this black radical conscious person. He has a dashiki, he has the thing on his head, but he's depicted as being married with a white woman. So he's preaching black consciousness and black liberation, radicalism, and black militancy, but he has a white wife and mixed kids. And this is all when did I'm gonna get you sucker, when did that come out? Like late 80s, 89 maybe. So we're going all the way, like I was born in the late 80s, so this is around the time I was born. So this is how far this shit goes back. Um, do y'all remember the show In Living Color, which connects to Keenan Ivory Wayans because that was a show? So I think they continued this stereotype of black radicals or black conscious people by dealing with the whole prison intellectual sketches, where Damon Wayans, his brother, and Keenan Ivory Wayans are basically having this conversation with each other, and they're just using big words in the conversation, and it sounds funny because it's like it's trying to portray the image of what the fuck are these people talking about? Like they're using all these big words and and it doesn't make sense that they're talking it. Now, someone watching this in early 90s, right? Because that's when Living Color came out. Now they are associating that with us. So for example, if I were to, you know, go out here and, like I'm doing now, like I'm sitting here talking about black problem or just dealing with magic, dealing with spirituality and all this stuff, there's a high chance that someone is going to see me as one of these prison intellectuals. I've never been to prison, but I know a lot of people in the conscious community have been. You see that? Do you see where I'm going with this? And even on the show, they even do a parody of Shahrazad Ali. You know who that is, right? Black conscious elder woman, one of our elders that have always been speaking about relationships between the black woman and the black man. Shahrazad Ali, you know what I'm talking about. She light skinned. She always wear that hat where it looks like it's like the top of a lipstick. It's not to roast her or nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to describe her to you. I forgot the book she wrote, but they had a sketch, maybe a couple sketches on the Living Color show where they make fun of Shahrazad Ali and her book. You know what I'm saying? This is going back to the Boondocks again. This guy named Erica Badu, or he was called Erica Badu. He was Huey Freeman's friend, or one of his friends, I guess, in the show that was acting woke. You know what I'm saying? Killmonger, Killmonger from the Black Panther movie, right? This was the first instance. Like, if have you ever heard the term black identity extremist? Because basically, if you're saying black nationalist, Afrocentric scholar, or black militant, the next term that they started using was black identity extremists. So this is any, so-called black person that is, speaking out against the system or speaking up for black rights or performing actions that are considered radical or against the federal law or any type of law that it's going up against. Killmonger was the first depiction of the black radical, or excuse me, the black identity extremist. He was the first depiction of that. This is propaganda. You know what I'm saying? So in this mainstream space, they are making these cookie cutter depictions of who we are, and then the outer world sees that, and then they align us with that, right? Because even this essay that I'm talking about, by Cheryl E. Mango, again, the title is Black Radicalism, Black Consciousness, Black History, and Black YouTube, A New Age Revolution. She's one of these people, black, right, that is seeing us from the outside. She's seeing us from the outside and making these judgment calls and making these, calling you YouTube revolutionaries for what you do on YouTube and whatever other social media platform you're using. Lord Jamar's Supreme Allah character in the show Oz. I never watched Oz, but I'm pretty sure that they had Lord Jamar in there, acting like a 5%er, right? I also put, I don't know if you're familiar with Long Beach Griffey, but he does some videos where he pokes fun at the conscious woke community. You know what I'm saying? And he had some valid points, pretty funny. Euripides from CB4. You know who Euripides is. You probably don't know the name, but if you ever heard "I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, cause I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, cause I'm black, y'all," bliggly black, him. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Fuck is the actor name? Alan Payne? Is that his name? He played G Money on New Jack City. Him, CB4 with Chris Rock. And Charlie Murphy is in the movie. You ever seen CB4? So you're seeing us making fun of the conscious community, black radicalism, Afrocentric movement, black history movement. You know what I'm saying? Black radicalism, black identity extremists. You see all these instances where this is how the world is supposed to see us. And then you have Kanye West, who, this is more of a recent depiction because, basically Kanye is saying things that a black radical would say. Like, for example, saying that, slavery is a choice. Now, whether you agree with that or not, it's the way he said it. And then even where he was at when he said it, like TMZ of all places. The things that he's saying is also how they are looking at us. So it ain't just about, them hating on Kanye. It's about them hating on anybody talking about the same shit or the same topics. So if you're talking about, you're the actual Hebrew Israelite or Hebrew, or you're the true, what I'm saying? Whatever you're saying out here nowadays, right? He's spearheading that. So it's not just him that they're going after with this shit. It's going after people that look and talk just like him. And then you have conscious rap. You know what I'm saying? Your Commons, your Talib Kweli's, your Yasin Bey, that's the Most Def's new name. Kendrick Lamar for these modern times. J. Cole. These are mainstream dudes. You know what I'm saying? These are mainstream acts. These are mainstream personalities. And you have the whole world looking at them as the depictions or the representations of this whole black consciousness, black radicalism, black identity extremist, Afrocentric movement. You know what I'm saying? Now, the point of, like I said, one of the points where I probably didn't say this already, but one of the points of this live stream that I'm doing is, should we take a critical look? And we ought to. Like, should we be taking a critical look at this community? Because I don't think we're on our best behavior for people that's watching. And the fact that you're on YouTube, like you're watching me on YouTube, this is a platform that is fertile for a personality to go viral, or a personality to go out here and act or put up an act. You know what I'm saying? To put up a show. You know what I mean? To act or play the role of a character that they may not actually be off of YouTube and social media as a whole. And you got people watching this shit, making judgments. So as far as the rest of the world is concerned, we might as well just be a bunch of hate mongers. You know what I'm saying? We might as well just be a bunch of hate mongers. We hate everything that ain't black. Now, this applies to certain people in this community, this conscious community, it does. And they bang that every day. But it's not everybody. Because you know the saying, it's not that we hate white people or we hate any other type of ethnicity or race of people. It's just that we're pro-black and we love black, right? But like I said, you have contradictions to certain statements like that, right? You have what's called gang banging over ideologies, or ideology gang banging. And this is what you see on, channels like You Saw Netter and all that stuff, where they make it a spectacle. Jordan Peele movie, right? Nope, right? They make a spectacle out of debating these things that go on in Afrocentric circles. You know what I'm saying? And they get paid off of that debate. The whole, the hosts of that debate and whoever's, going there to debate. Now, it's not the debate that concerns me, because they have debates in college all the time. You know what I'm saying? Public debates, they have those. The point is, what type of debate are they doing? Like you're bringing the gang banging into this ideology, this black consciousness. You're bringing it into it. So much so that you have former gang members who have been to prison that come out and become, your conscious savior or your conscious leader or liberator, right? Or your YouTube revolutionary personality, right? And it's easy for someone to say, oh, that's a convict. Even so much so, like if you go to the movie Don't Be a Menace, with the Wayans brothers, there's a scene where Sean Wayans, I think his character name is Ashtray, where he goes to jail, I guess, for a day or two, and he's in the cell with this dude named Farrah Convict. He calls him Farrah Convict. It's this black Muslim, who eats pork. They even in the cell, like he has a picture of a pig in the cell. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking all this Muslim jargon, but he's eating bacon. You know what I'm saying? There's a lyric from Fabulous. If you're familiar with the rap scene, Fabulous says in one of the songs that he has, he says, "It's people eating pork wearing kufis out here." And that was basically Farrah Convict from Don't Be a Menace. You know what I'm saying? So you have all that in here. And you got people watching us, looking at us, making judgments. How you feel about that? Because this is stuff that we even criticize within this community. We criticize people like, that want to sit here and argue and debate and cause, rifts and schisms within the community. Like, for example, you have Hebrew Israelites debating and basically gangbanging against Kemetic people, right? Or you have the Moors, the Moorish Science Temple of America as a whole, and they're having beef with, RBG people, like people that are hardcore RBG, like, African consciousness, like they connect. And that whole thing goes down to, or boils down to, where we, like us over here in America or in the United States, are we from Africa or are we native to this land? You know what I'm saying? Native to this U.S. soil, right? Or this American soil. And that's a debate that they, still going on to this day. It was a debate that was going on well before I even stepped onto the conscious community scene. You know what I mean? And if you look at it, this whole conscious community thing is kind of the same as wrestling. And I've talked about this in several posts on my page before. Kayfabe. Have you ever heard of that? Kayfabe. 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 Kayfabe is where the wrestlers are going on a script. So I'm pretty sure, I was a WrestleMania fan. I was a fan of wrestling when it was called World Wrestling Federation, and then they changed it to World Wrestling Entertainment. I was the Federation fan. And the reason they turned it into entertainment instead of federation is because people started finding out that wrestling is fake, or at least it follows a pre-written script. So all the wrestlers that you see are following a script. Yeah, they do some of the athletics that you see that any wrestler would do, but it's following a script. So you even have characters that the actual corporation creates, and do you have actors that sign up to play the part? So, for example, if you have an Undertaker, that was a pre-written character that the guy that you see playing Undertaker, he's playing that role. It's not something he is in real life. It's a role. It's a you know what I'm saying? Just like if you were to be hired to be on a show tomorrow or be in a movie tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. But now it's in the conscious community. It's not just in the conscious community. It's in politics in general. It's media today. It's all kayfabe to me. It's all written. It's all script. Would you be surprised that the same writers that write the franchise movies you see today are the same motherfuckers writing the news? But today is the focus on conscious community because I've talked about this before, where I think there is a responsibility for us in this community to uphold some certain principles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna sit here and scam your brother? You gonna sit here and finesse your sister? You gonna gang bang against your brother across the street because he deals with Kemet, ancient Kemet, and you deal with Hebrew Israelitism, right? And the greater issue also is when this stuff makes it to mainstream media. That's where a problem comes through. Because we know it's news that this conscious community person is, a fraud, and they be doing all types of shisty things. But when national news or international news gets onto that and they cover it, now all the world sees. The world sees us. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that there's a problem with us and there's a problem with outside spectators. Because again, we're giving them this garbage to see, but they aren't seeing beyond the garbage. You see what I'm saying? So there's an issue on both ends. Like, the outside world chooses not to see anything beyond what they are shown on the mainstream. That's lazy on their end because all of us clearly aren't like what some of these more famous conscious community personalities are like. But that's why it goes back to what I was saying about agent provocateurs. Like, are some of these black conscious community people, these especially the prominent ones that the famous ones, are they agents? Agent provocateurs. Like, are they given the task by their agencies to infiltrate our circles and then start causing problems? Start doing all types of, um, auspicious acts, like sitting here, like, doing some real wild shit that will gain them some sort of, attention, especially on a national or a mainstream level. You know what I'm saying? And are they doing that on purpose? Because if going back to the movie Black Panther, you have a black extreme or black identity extremist being depicted in the form of Killmonger, and he's being depicted as being this vicious killer that doesn't respect women. So now, if I sit here and have some of the same talking points, like saying that, we need to liberate all black people, or we need to, what I'm saying, take down colonization or colonialism, right? But he's in the movie killing women, being disrespectful to doing all types of shit. So now they're going to think I'm that if I have the same talking points. Even if I never, what I'm saying, I'm not out here disrespecting anybody. They're going to automatically put me in that same line as Killmonger, right? They're going to do that. That's what I'm saying. And it's not just Killmonger, it's anybody out here, even going beyond the movies. Just what you see in the news. Kanye West, Candace Owen, anybody seeing Kyrie Irving, all these people. You know what I'm saying? YouTube revolutionaries. Are you that? Keyboard revolutionary. I was using the term keyboard. I didn't say YouTube revolutionary. This is the essay. And I'm pretty sure that's a term that's being thrown around. And in her essay, again, her name is Cheryl E. Mango from Virginia State University. And in her essay, Black Radicalism, Black Consciousness, Black History, and Black YouTube, A New Age Revolution, she says that the term YouTube's revolutionary is a fitting term for all of us on YouTube talking about any of the stuff we talk about as far as consciousness, spirituality, occult, and black liberation is concerned. This is a so-called black woman saying this. Because obviously, if you're being oppressed or if you're being put into a colonialized or a colonized, colony, I guess, for lack of a better term, or area, then there is going to be reactions to that colonialism or that colonization. You know what I'm saying? But we as a whole black people, if you want to consider us that monolith, we're all not going to react the same way to this colonization. No. You got some people who go like right along with the colonization, where if it means sabotaging other black people or talking ill of other black people for $1 or to gain favor with the colonizer, they'll do it. Then you have people who will, they are focused on rebelling against this colonial system. You know what I'm saying? Do you have people that are somewhere in between those two extremes? But what happens when those two extremes collide? So now you have a person that they sit here and act like they're black consciousness, but they're really here to sabotage the whole situation. They're doing it for money, they're doing it for attention, they're doing it to sabotage whatever the hell we got going around here. It's dangerous when those two extremes collide. Let me reword it. When you have a person that is obviously working for the colonizing system, but they come amongst us with some bull. You know what I'm saying? With some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? With some conscious bullshit. Like you have people in this community who have been to prison for fraud. Not in the conscious community, it was fraud doing something else, like mail fraud, real estate fraud. You know what I'm saying? Credit card fraud. And then they come out of the jail system wearing a dashiki and dashiki and a kente cloth or a kufi or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A fez. You know what I'm saying? One of those, whatever style that the Hebrew Israelite is wearing out there in New York, whatever you call that style, they're wearing it. But like I said, and I'm not sitting here saying that you can't turn your life around after a life or a stint in prison. What I'm saying is we're seeing people who have not really learned from their ways and just kind of found another group of people to finesse. Now, she doesn't go into, dealing with people that are into magic or occult and, spirituality for the most part. She's really kind of focused just on the political side. But what she's saying or what this is all about does apply to people in that space too, because you could be a fake spiritualist. I'm pretty sure if you are a government agency and you're here to watch us, you're going to have a character made for every ideology out here to sabotage and be a provocateur in each of those circles. Why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you? That's how I would do it. Like if I was really trying to, subjugate motherfuckers that's trying to, rebel or go up against the system or create a subculture apart from the mainstream, right? Even the whole sovereignty movement, which isn't exclusively, black, but it has its black faction or its Moorish faction or whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I've had experiences and I've seen people where they were using that status correction shit to, you know, to finesse people. And we talking about thousands of dollars. I'm talking hundreds too, but we definitely talk about thousands of dollars. So the one of the questions is why, as a community, right? Why do we have any type of thing in place to keep us from being negatively impacted by such agent provocateurs or people that come amongst us, to do this dumb shit that they do? In other words, does the conscious community have a council? Does it have a board member, like a board, say of directors or a board of fiduciaries or managers or whatever? Now you would say, the elders. But what if those very elders are agents? That's what I'm saying. Like critical thinking, critical assessment, critical evaluations. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, again, back to the whole spiritual thing, there's finessers, not just in black side of that, but it's there. I believe one of the terms is, spiritual fuckboy. You have these spiritual dudes, occult dudes that do all these theatrics just to have sex. You know what I'm saying, or get money out of people. And that's where the been happening to me an awful lot every time I, damn near every time I get on here to do a live stream on YouTube. They keep shutting down the live. Like the screen just goes black. You know what I'm saying? Like they may try to attribute it to, it just has some sort of computer error, but I know that when you use certain words on your live, they have algorithms here to shut down your live stream. Like, come on, who you think you're fooling? But I don't even know where I left off with the last video. This is part two of the subconscious politics of the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? That previous live stream may still be saying that it's live, but it's not, because they'll shut your stream down if you saying some certain words. You know what I'm saying? So where can I start with this one? Okay, we can get into being more solution oriented or whatever. So like I said in the previous stream, I was talking about, for y'all coming in, that's y'all watching this now, they shut down my stream. They just shut it down. The screen just went black. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a blackout, right? You remember they did that for Pray for Paris, I think. Did they do that? When there was some shooting in Paris, some sort of tragedy in Paris, and it was Pray for Paris. No, no, no. Everybody put a French flag on a profile pic. I'm wrong movement. Wrong movement. But anyway, going back to what we're talking about, subconscious politics. So there's a or politics or politricks in the conscious community. Because who, how would you classify these YouTube personalities, including myself? I'm not no big personality. I ain't even got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube yet, so you don't put me in that category with them. But I'm talking about people that's, they got like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, you know what I'm saying, of subscribers. So they have a large base of, people that watch their content. You know what I'm saying? So wouldn't you consider that those people politicians? You don't consider your favorite conscious community personality a politician? No? Why not? Why not? Why not? Because if so, then we are dealing with what we, see in politics today. Outside of, beyond going beyond the borders of the conscious community, what do we see in politics around the world? Because now we can apply those same um, faults, or how should I say this? Those same shortcomings here in this whole conscious community thing. Same shortcomings. It's politics. So it's not about liberating you, it's about getting your money. It's not about really educating you and teaching you about anything substantial or useful. It's about telling you whatever you want to hear for attention or likes. Popularity. I've always said this over my whole, Instagram career, that, spreading knowledge is not a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to be popular amongst you. You know what I mean? Whatever popularity I get, I'm gonna have to be satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I did have a goal where I wanted to reach at least 1,000 subscribers. Hasn't happened yet. It's been months. Maybe it'll never happen. But like I said, I'm not invested in it anymore, just by the simple fact that I don't even be coming on here giving y'all videos to watch. Hell, I even took down the videos I took down from my page before. Those views went into the thousands. You know what I'm saying? Took it all down. Just not invested in politics. Hell, the platform that y'all doing this shit on, like YouTube itself, has politics, and they have algorithms to enforce it. Do you need proof? They just shut down my live stream that I already did, and now y'all on this second one. They just the screen just went black. That had to be an algorithm based on the politics, meaning that if I say certain words or do certain things, I know, like, for example, doing certain, you don't want to upload certain things, like you killing animals. Like, you don't want to put that on YouTube. Like, yeah, you should shut that down. But talking points, just saying certain things, hot topics, you know what I'm saying? Say them, and the algorithm will be come to your spot and shut your thing down. You know what I'm saying? It's politics when they ban Louis Farrakhan or Trump. That's politics. Company politics. YouTube is part of a greater company, Google or Alphabet, which is the parent company, right? Facebook, Instagram. That's politics. They try to ban certain political things you're going to say. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the word appears, not only in your caption, but in the actual picture of your post, it's coming down. They're flagging it. See, this is, like I said, this is how I know where certain people's level is at. Because, like I said, if you're sitting here championing, or rooting for these mainstream conscious community people, it's like, that's where I know where you at. You know what I'm saying? And because they're on that mainstream level, yes, they tend to have more subscribers or followers or friends than other people. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And not this is not, that's not the only criteria for to say that there's some sort of agent provocateur, agent, or some sort of finesser or jipper. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of jippers out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I paid you for that, but you never got back to me after I paid you. That's wild. It's been 2 months and I paid you, and you ain't even get back to me. That's what's up. That type of thing. Now, here's another thought. When it comes to other black people, because they are watching us too, like people that you wouldn't consider conscious or Afrocentric or black national or black radical or anything like that. You have black people that are watching us too, and they clown us too. You know, some of the stuff that they see on movies and TV shows where they have the you know, the woke person, you know what I'm saying, in the show or in the movie or whatever. They clown the shit out of that. And and like I said, they have, it's justified because, like I said, if you're going to be a part of a community or a group of people where y'all supposed to have superior knowledge, superior wisdom, superior understanding than everybody else, then that's something that you need to uphold. If that's what you want to do, how you gonna sit here and talk to me about black liberation? You know what I'm saying? You over here chasing white women and stuff. Doesn't make sense. And then you coming out here to justify that? Nah, son. Nah, son, you can't do that. What you doing? What you doing, man? You out of pocket. I'm gonna buy a wallet chain and keep you by my side because you out of pocket. You know what I mean? Like here's another thing, like when it, with the Moors and stuff, is like, I always came across this is like, okay, you're saying that like the actual paper money, like, you know, like this is fiat notes, right? So I just grab some random money I got laying around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fiat note, right? But then you're going to sit here and ask for an exorbitant fee of those fiat notes in order to do my status nationality correction. That's a head scratcher because I'm like, well, why are you so interested in getting all these fiat notes and they're not supposed to be fake, or are they supposed to be um fake? And you know what I mean? You want fake money? I mean, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand that there needs to be something in exchange for your service, but you're going to take me into the 7,000, 8,000 range, 10,000 range in order to correct my status, whatever that status is to be corrected. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. And like I said, I don't like name dropping, but I have to say this guy's name. I have to. I don't like name dropping. The whole Nature Boy thing. The whole Nature Boy thing, right? His shit made national news. You have to talk about it now. It's national news. It's not just something that we're dealing with in the community of consciousness. No, his story made public national syndicated news. And this he got arrested in Atlanta, right? So everybody in Atlanta is going to see that, especially in Atlanta. But like I said, he made national news. So, and what he was doing. I remember seeing a video where he was talking about he allowed his kids to touch his Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that that's supposed to be, hold on, that's supposed to, I keep black tape over my camera, for example. Sometimes I lift it to interact with you, but after this is done, I'm putting the black tape over the camera. Um, you know his story, right? Been all over the South America, say Caribbean, the Hawaii. I think he tried to go. I don't know what it was, but he made national news. So when you start talking about chakras and you start talking about living off the grid and doing all that type of shit, they're going to associate you with him and everybody that was doing that dumb shit. That's how this works. Is he an agent provocateur? Because he was doing a lot of provocatorial type shit. Now, it is usually not something I care about. It's something to laugh at. I'll watch it for my own, entertainment. But again, I'm looking at people seeing that and comparing that to me, associating that with me and you. If you're into this conscious information or spiritual occult stuff, because he's talking about chakras, that's occult. Is you can probably say it's new age, but I see a lot of people that say that they're occultists dealing with chakras. Now, if you want to say, oh, you're dealing with it on a level that he ain't dealing with it, so what? Chakra is chakra to people that don't know what y'all talking about. So it's going to be easy for them to associate you talking about chakras, like you that person. They're going to associate you with the nature boy. Tell me if I'm bullshitting. Tell me if I'm lying. And I know that this shit is on purpose. They look for any of these cases in our situation in the conscious community to take public. It's like an IPO. They're looking for something to take public. I gotta say Zaza Ali. I'm again, I don't like name dropping, but I'm using names. To be fair, I'm using names that are in the mainstream. So for Umar Johnson is another one. With Zaza Ali, you've heard me talk about this before. She basically tried to finesse a lot of women out of, retreat money. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to go on a women's retreat, and she tried to abscond with the money. You know what I'm saying? She tried to bail out with the money. She tried to, jip them for that money. But one of the women went to one of these national news stations and ratted her out. And we find out that someone like Zaza Ali used to be in prison or jail, wherever she was, for mail fraud. Brother Polite, he made national news, didn't he? Last year, right? Or maybe was it last year? Or time go by so fast. Was it last year? Early last year, where he was accused of, you know, um, sexually assaulting or dealing with some underage woman, girl, right? And then you have people that follow him, say that are in that whatever that nuwapa, whatever they doing, they get upset with me for mentioning it, for saying something about it. It's like I'm gonna say something, you know what I'm saying? What am I on YouTube to display colors? Nah, I'm gonna say something about it. It's mainstream news. Get mad at me because one of your people's out here doing some, what I'm saying, out here violating like that. And it ain't the first time he did it, and it's not the only thing he was out here doing, right? Because now my issue is that it comes back on everybody else. It makes everybody else, they see us as that now. And then what they also do, this is a tactic that a lot of these news people do, or just these, people that are out here to, to control populations or whatever you want to call them. What they also do is try to make it that, these YouTube revolutionaries are somehow our leaders. So the Nature Boy, the Brother Polite, the Zaza Ali is, according to them, that's our representative. That's our leaders. Like they're leading us, and I don't take any type of leadership from them. See that? Like they assign you these leaders, and like I said, if they're going to assign you a leader, well, now I got to ask the question: was that person put there for that purpose by the people that run this system? 70,000 though. Would you ever give anybody in this community, conscious community, $70,000 of your savings? Would you do that? Somebody did it. See, y'all need to start watching more videos. You know what I'm saying? You on YouTube watching, like I'm pretty sure you had to have seen some videos where some of these finessers have already been accused and called out, and you're just skipping by them, and then you're dealing with these conscious. You come into the community now. You're coming into consciousness and knowledge and stuff, and you don't know that we don't mess with that guy or that girl. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, my first live that was mysteriously cut off. This discussion is based on a essay written by Cheryl E. Mango from Virginia State University. The essay title: "Black Radicalism, Black Consciousness, Black History, Black YouTube, A New Age Revolution," where she calls us, YouTube revolutionaries. I hope she see this video. Are you a YouTube revolutionary? Now, you know who I am. You know what I do. You know what I always say: let go of the world, get a hold of yourself. So this stuff doesn't affect me that where you might think it does. Like I'm really worried about, my public image or what I look like to people that don't deal with this type of science we deal with. No, that's not really the thing. I'm really just kind of focused on, you know, the inception of this community and how it has gone downhill. Because I said that in the live when it got cut off. Like one of the first thing I said is that this whole community is going downhill. It's bearish. Are you familiar with stocks and bonds? Like when the stock is bearish, that means that its value is going down. When it's bullish, it's going up. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we out here dealing with. Is yeah, a funeral. You know what I'm saying? It's just dead. You know what I mean? And I ain't even don't get me started on the actual like backstage stuff that happens in the conscious community where it's a whole lot of drama and a lot of sick above the collar mustardy, like just really like sewer cesspool type shit going on in the conscious thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you just as soon as you get it, like you can just feel the turds on your skin. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to give you like a something for you to. It's a cesspool. That's all. We ain't gotta get into metaphors or anything. It's a cesspool. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're watching this video and you're just now getting into consciousness, or if you're somebody who's been in as long as I have, you gotta agree. And I dare you to sit here and try to like defend this cesspool. You know what I'm saying? It's so blatant that it's like you can smell it when you go on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? When you go on Instagram and Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It's not just YouTube. It's like a cesspool. You know what a cesspool is, right? Like a sewer. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a tank of doo doo. You know what I'm saying? Versus what it probably was set out to be when it was first incepted, right? And like I said, I wouldn't know like what would be that year where you would say the conscious community kind of became what it is. You know what I'm saying? Or it became that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you go to like an essay like this where it's talking about, or this book, Slavery to Liberation, it's this collection of essays about the Black experience in America, right? I mean, how far back does Black radicalism go? I mean, we probably could take it all the way back to, slave plantation when you have, slaves that are plotting for their escape or plotting for rebellion or revolt. You can go as far as back as that, right? Right. And then, we just had these loose communities, like, you had your Moorish Science Temple, you had your Nation of Islam, you had your 5% Nation, you know what I'm saying? Your Black Panthers, whatever Malcolm X started, I forgot the name, after he got kicked out of the nation. Um, Black Liberation Front, what else? Stephen Biko, that's a good movie you should watch with Denzel Washington. I think Kevin Kline is in that movie. It's about Denzel Washington. He's playing Stephen Biko, who was this like black activist from like South Africa or something like that. It came out in like late 80s, like 87. Good movie. What was it called? Cry Freedom? I think that's what the movie is called. Cry Freedom. So you have these loose knit, like people that's into Kemet, the people that got into, the Israelite thing, um, you know, people that started cracking open these grimoires and trying to do like occult magic and stuff like that. And then it just all like when it came to social media, it all got grouped in as conscious community because all these different factions, or shall we call them ideologies, overlap. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is a hotbed. Social media, YouTube is a hotbed a fertile soil for a fake personality to come to be created. Yo, if you want to go on a roller coaster trip tonight, look up Liver King. Like it's this muscular steroid dude named Liver King. Like he just became an overnight social media celebrity. He's this dude that he's real cocky, but he's short as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He's short as hell, but he's real cock diesel. He's like a new age Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Or Randy Savage or something like that. And he sells these ancestral supplements, right? But he got exposed a couple months ago for taking steroids. Like some of his emails leaked. Well, he had this email exchange with this company that creates these performance enhancing drugs and these steroids and these growth hormones. The emails leaked, so now he got exposed as a fraud. You know what I'm saying? And he be having people eating raw organs and live. That's where his name come from, Liver King. He makes these videos where he eats raw liver and testicles and intestines and all these different animal organs, and he does that as a sales tactic. So you won't do it. So he says, okay, well, buy my supplements, like my pills or my capsules, where we, you know, I guess freeze dry the liver and turn it into a powder and then put it in a capsule, and he sells it. And he's been making like $100 million off of this shit in the past few years. But then he just got exposed for taking steroids, even though he went on these interviews where he was saying, he don't take steroids, he don't take PEDs. Very interesting story. I've been watching video after video for the past couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Funny as hell. And it made me think about all these and within our space, within the conscious community, a conscious spirituality occult community. Like how many of them motherfuckers is just like him, like the Liver King, selling you a lifestyle that they don't really live, or they don't live anymore. Because what also can be a part of this shit is that there's people who started out and they meant well. They started out on the, I guess you want to call it a righteous path, but somewhere they went astray. You know what I'm saying? You know how you go straight, but then you go astray? Like you're straight, but then you crooked. You didn't start out crooked, but then you went crooked. That could happen. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps you don't believe in the movement anymore. Like you at first you was, you know what I'm saying, you know, fuck whitey, you know what I'm saying, black liberation. And then after like maybe 5 or 6 years, you're like, I don't feel like doing that anymore. But like I said, you probably make money off of saying it, off of speaking about it. You get attention, you know what I'm saying? You get to sell product, but your heart's not in it anymore. You don't believe in it anymore. So you might as well do some corrupt shit because it's like, you know, this shit is dead. It's a cesspool. It's like different people's fecal matter floating together. Like, that's nasty. And that's how I see this shit now. You may have a different opinion. Maybe you've been in it longer than me, or not as long as me, or you didn't see this shit I saw, or you didn't come across these frauds and shysters and jippers and fake mugs. You know what I'm saying? I have. You know what I mean? I have. And it's not exclusive to any ideology. Like I said, for every ideology, you probably have an armful of fake agent provocateurs, or, you know what I'm saying, people that don't really say what they do on YouTube. Sometimes, and now it just boiled down to the dollar. Forget trying to help liberate you. It's about the dollar now. Ego too. Because you know about the attention economy. Like you know, you can sell attention now. You know, say you can co-opt people's attention. You know what I'm saying? You're always on your phone. You're always on an app. You know what I'm saying? You're always putting your information somewhere on the internet, right? So these are the subconscious politics of the conscious community. You ain't know about that? You ain't know it was a cesspool? You ain't know that? Because I wish someone told me before I decided to enter this shit. Because again, I can say run with this thing started back in 2013. So I'm a decade in. So the moment I got on Instagram in 2013, that's when I started to get into the conscious community groupthink. It's another thing we need to talk about. The groupthink. So it's no more saying hello or hi or greetings. It's all about Ashe, Hotep, and whatever other code word that or whatever word you're using within that groupthink. So you're not supposed to eat pork. You're not supposed to deal with white women or white men. Um, what else is in this group thing? You're supposed to wear crystals on your body. You're supposed to wear kente. Why are you wearing European clothes? You're supposed to be wearing kente cloth and dashikis and kufis. Why are you wearing white European suits? European clothes. You're supposed to buy black, spend black, buy black, so that the dollar can circulate more times in the black community before it leaves the community. Right? You've heard these things before. It's part of the groupthink. Every politic or group of people has their groupthink. You can be at a McDonald's. There's politics at that one McDonald's. And what I mean by that? So there's somebody, obviously the manager or assistant manager, they all run the place, obviously, but they have their favorites and they have the people they don't like, right? You have this person liking that person, so perhaps one day they have sex in the break room. I don't know. You think this is far fetched? I mean, we can go through the news, you know what I'm saying, see what they said about it. Haven't you heard about that female cop? What was that? What was that? Where she let the whole police force run a train on her, and her husband was okay with it. So it's some, cuck. It's a porn category, cuckold or whatever it's called. So she was basically out here doing that. You know what I'm saying? But they supposed to be police officers. They supposed to have more authority than you in this society. They're supposed to dictate to you moral authorities. You're calling them authorities. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Or maybe your older, relatives are doing that because nobody my age can say, well, we're going to call the authorities. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm starting to see, no, I ain't gonna say start because I've been seeing it. See, I was about to lie to you. This whole thing of knowing that you can come into these circles and make money. Like you can come into these circles and sell people the dream of black liberation, black consciousness, you know what I'm saying? Black empowerment. You can come here and make money. Especially if your old clientele or the old base of people that you was trying to jip already know about you. So now you can kind of what you can do. You can change your name, right? You can put on the African clothes or the fez or the whatever they wearing out there as Israelites in New York, whatever you call that style. I do not know what that style is called. Some people said Power Rangers. I do not know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's biblically accurate. I don't know what their style is, but they're wearing it. So that's all you got to do. You get to change your government name into something like, El Bay or Shakur or, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Imhotep, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I did it. I used to call myself Asar Ankh-T. You know what I'm saying? Asar Ankh-T Day. I didn't want to use Bay. I wanted to use Day, Dey, because that was, they say that's associated with astrologers, and I did astrology for like 10 years now, so or going on 10 years. So you had that going on. You know what I'm saying? That's all you gotta do. You change your name to something that sounds like one of the ideologies, one of the group things. You change your clothes. Can't be sitting out here wearing the same clothes, and you change your lingo. That's all you gotta do. And people will trust you, give you money for to teach and preach to them black liberation, black consciousness, black empowerment. That's all it takes. Why do you think there's more to it? But the problem is, if I'm conscious and you're conscious, how come we didn't see that? How conscious are you where you did not see this jipper or this finesser or this fake, this phony, this fugazi coming a mile away? Where's your antennas or your intuition where you didn't see that? Now we got to sit here and assess, well, how conscious is the conscious community really? You know how in Dave Chappelle stand up when he was like, "How old is 15 really?" For what it's worth, that stand up that he did in San Francisco in was it 2004? He was like, "How old is 15 really?" Well, I'm asking, how conscious is the conscious community? How conscious is it? How conscious can a cesspool be? I told you it's above the shoulders, up to the chin. You ever been in water and the water went up this? You was this deep into it, like the water came up to your mouth. You that deep into the cesspool. That's how deep, depthical it is. And now I'm like, I don't, because I can't sit here and say my content doesn't, it doesn't, qualify as conscious. It is part of conscious community stuff. I can't sit here and say, oh, I'm dealing with alchemy, so it's a part. No, it's not. Because it's going to overlap. Like I said, you're going to sit here and watch, I don't know, like a Bobby Hemmett video or one of these niggas debating about ancient Kemet and, was they whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you probably going to see my video pop up. Because see, you may not want to group area all of us in this shit together, but everybody on the outside does. They don't see you being the Israelite or the Kemet or the RBG or the Moor. Y'all all the same. What do you mean? You know different from the other? They not seeing a difference. It's the same ice cream, different flavor to them. You know what I'm saying? You heard? And again, the occult spiritual again, you can even fraud people even more with spirituality. Because if they don't know what spirituality is, then you could come along and tell them exactly what you think it is, or what you are telling them that it is, when it is not that in truth. Like if you're green, like for example, if somebody right now, I don't know, they probably like 21, maybe they're fed up with college, like they're not, they see college as a joke, so they want to explore other things. That was kind of my situation, and you wander into the conscious community. You don't know the cesspool that you just entered though. You don't know the cess. You don't know how it could be 12 feet deep, and you don't know you in the shit. So now that's in this shit is telling you what spirituality is, and you're paying them. So now it makes it hard for other people that actually do the stuff and actually are disciplined in this stuff to teach other people. Because now they have been scarred for life homes by people that, say that lied to them or gypped them or scammed them. Yeah, this scamming stuff out here didn't hurt my business. And I don't even be out here scamming. Who am I scamming? I'm not scamming anybody. Too disciplined to sit here and scam anybody. What do you mean? So basically what I'm saying is these, niggas that, especially the motherfuckers that get, mainstream news for their, crime or whatever they did, it fucks up the money for the rest of us. Because now everybody like, I'm not spending another damn dime with them fake woke, black conscious wannabe niggas. That's basically what everybody's saying. People that look just like you, young fella, little sis, that look just like you telling you they don't fuck with that shit. Because you were not, as a collective, a great representation of what you were preaching. You failed to uphold the standards that you were out here projecting and, presenting to everyone. And like I was saying, I think I got sidetracked when I said it, but I always kind of looked at the conscious community as the level above the rest of the world. because you're supposed to be dealing with a superior information, superior knowledge, superior viewpoints and perspectives, but you fall short in a incredible, like you fall short to the point where it's like, how are you any different from the average mo, the average schmo? You're no more conscious than the other, than somebody who ain't even banging this stuff, who ain't even in it. You're judgmental, you're condescending, you're combative, you're abusive, you jip people, you make people feel like less than nothing when you try to explain conscious stuff to them, like they're doing something fundamentally wrong with their lives. You make fun of people who eat meat. Like, what's wrong with you? You think you're better than everybody now that you know what I'm saying? You got crystals in your bra now. You think you the baddest bitch at the function now? Like, what's up with you, ma? Bro? I've heard that plenty of times where people that you wouldn't consider conscious, they look at us, us in this community, and say, "Y'all just a bunch of condescending jerks. You're a bunch of, you know, what I'm saying, self-right. You're no different from the self-righteous church people." I don't want that stain on my, you know, what I'm saying, on my reputation. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? My bad if I was ever condescending. You know what I'm saying? I do it for laughs. You know what I do on my Instagram page? That's, see, the whole Black Absurdist thing is all about me making fun of the whole conscious thing and just anything in general. That's just I do that for laughs. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't get the joke. I block them. You know what I'm saying? And they try to come back with another page. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And I think part of me doing that is me being disillusioned with this community. That's why I started being, you know what I'm saying, on some clown shit. I started being on some clown shit because it's like, it's a circus. It's a circus. You think being conscious excludes you or makes you exempt from this circus out here? Nah. You just a part of the circus, but you wear kente cloths. You know what I'm saying? You got an ankh tattoo up under your titty. That's the only thing that makes you different. Copper jewelry, copper obsidian jewelry. You wear it, but you still into the foolery. You wear the copper jewelry, but you still into the foolery. That's you, young fella, young sis. That's you, or at least that's what the outside world is seeing you as. Because that's not everybody. That's not me, but that's how they seeing us. So again, it's a failing of the conscious community, and it's a failing of other people on the outside looking at us through those lens of the bullshitters that they see. So like I said, I always looked at the conscious community as the ones who had the higher standard, but y'all ain't living up to it. Y'all ain't actually out here upholding it. We supposed to be the cream of the crop, right? You're supposed to be eating better than other people. You're supposed to be speaking better. You're supposed to have greater awareness of the spirits, greater awareness of politics, greater awareness of the world itself. You're conscious, right? Right?